The number of Americans on the government dole dipping slightly for the first time since Obama took office, mainly because the number of people collecting jobless benefits in April was the lowest since December of 2008 due to states running out. Time to bring out the panel. Yu-Dee Chang is the chief trader and sole principal of Ace Investment Strategies in D.C. Strategist, Al Lewis, good friend, a columnist for Dow Jones Newswire, standing by in Denver, ready to go, I'm sure. And Carol Roth is a business expert and a best-selling author. All right, Al, I got to start with you. What do you make of this, the fact that fewer Americans are drawing on federal relief? Does that tell you that things are getting that much better?
I don't know. I think here's the chart like this, and then today we got like maybe this much. This isn't really much of a change. You know, some people lost their unemployment benefits. You're going to see more and more people on the government dole as we go forward with the baby boomer generation aging and more of them going on Medicare and Medicaid. So this is a nice headline, but it's just one day.
All right, Yu-Dee, that tells me that fiscal cliff that everybody keeps talking about is going to be here faster and probably a little bit harder than we're ready for at the end of the year, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's always nice to hear some good news about the economy, maybe about the government. But overall speaking, this is 3 years after the recession. We still have pretty much historically high unemployment rate. We still have a huge budget deficit. We still have the fiscal deficit. We have a deeply divided government. So just to see a little bit of a so-called government benefit taking a dip really does not really excite me that much. I think we still have a lot of deep divided problem that the food stamp president really has to resolve.
Well, yeah, tell me, Carol, I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, states are they're in dire straits. I mean, you've got states that are going after the bailout money from the banks.
Right.
But at the same time, what does that mean overall if you get people that get phased out of the benefits for unemployment and then they don't have a job? I mean, life of crime? I don't know. I mean, it's a little frightening. You know?
Well, you would hope it would light a fire underneath them, but I actually think that this could have a negative effect because these are people who have money that they're not then putting back into the economy. So not only are they going further into poverty, but that money that we were handing them is not going into the economy. So we could actually see a negative impact from this. I think it remains to be seen over the next couple of months.
Well, guys, we can't let an hour of Fox Business go by without talking about Facebook. The stock dropping yet again today, trading below $30 a share for the first time since it debuted. This stock has lost 24% of its value so far. Yu-Dee, how do you feel about Facebook right now? I mean, are we overly slamming this stock, do you think, or is it fair that it's been under pressure like this?
You know, Cheryl, tell you the truth, as a money manager, let you in on a secret. The way to make money is actually buy low and sell high.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I'm glad you told me that.
So to me, actually, it's a deep divided story. So on one hand, Facebook, I tell you, they are still the leader of their space. And they're actually pretty ambitious and pretty aggressive. They're actually in talks with a Norwegian web browser company trying to buy a web browser. They're actually looking into a Russian search engine company. They hired 6 top engineers away from Apple. And the rumor is they're trying to develop a Facebook phone. So on one hand, you know, that seems to be pretty good over the long term. Short-term basis, though, Facebook at $28 still trades 50 times its earning, where Apple at $570 only trades 14 times earning. Short term, I believe Facebook still will see some weakness. Longer term basis, I want to buy around the $26 level, actually.
Okay, Carol, there you go. Buy it for the kids' college education if they're babies right now, potentially. But look, I mean, you know, you've got this Reuters report that the FTC is maybe going to launch a second investigation over Instagram. I mean, it seems like it's one negative report after another for Facebook. That's a little frightening.
It's frightening, and I think this whole thing is very frightening, Cheryl, because this isn't based on fundamentals. It never was. It was based on investor psychology and greed. And when the stock started going down, those people cut bait, and there still is no basis and benchmark for this kind of valuation. You have something, as Yu-Dee said, that is trading at 5 times the revenue multiple of Google and Apple. The only thing that's going to justify that is high-flying growth, and I don't know if any of these acquisitions can add to the revenue and the earnings per share to justify that level of growth.
That's a really good point that she's making there, Al. I mean, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's old school. I mean, forget buy low, sell high. How about make money and your stock will go higher? And maybe we're not seeing that with Facebook, Al.
The big picture here is that Facebook has grown larger than the sucker birth rate in America. You used to be able to launch a really cool internet company in any market, and it would just go up. this is an indication that that game is over, at least for now. The individual investor is out of the market. I don't think anybody really cares how low this thing's going to go. I don't think you're going to see people go, oh, wow, it's $20 a share. Time for me to buy Facebook. I think people are kind of tired of this game, and this is probably the first stock that we're going to see, and we're going to go, look, the IPO market isn't what it used to be back in the 90s or the 2000s.
Well, and we all remember what happened back in 99 and 2000 when you had dot-com stocks that went up and dot-com. Remember Pets.com? No, you don't. All right.
I love Pets.com.
Well, until you start getting paid in likes, I don't see how this is viable.
It's a good point. All right, I know you all get a cry tear over this, less lawyers, or at least less lawyers working, but global law firm Dewey and LaBeouf filing bankruptcy. It's one of the largest law firm failures, actually, in U.S. history, guys. The firm, they once had more than 1,300 attorneys in 12 countries. Now they owe, get this, $315 million to more than 5,000 creditors. Do we care, Carol?
We do care, and the reason why we care is not because of the overpriced lawyers. It's because of their support staff and all of the service providers that are going down the drain here. The lawyers are going to all land on their feet, Cheryl, but there are all of these other people that are going to end up getting dinged. There's an $80 million unfunded pension liability, and you know who's going to be left holding the bag? It's not those lawyers. Lesson here, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered.
That is, and I was hungry. Anyway, but Yu-Dee, she makes a really good pointer that there's kind of the residual effect of a failure like this, and that is on jobs. I mean, people are going to be losing their jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, if you think about this, are you surprised? We're talking about a 103-year-old company, right? You leave it up to a whole bunch of Ivy Leaguers, where attorneys especially, where they got overexcited, leveraged themselves, and spent what they shouldn't spend. Well, just look at the country. We have just one Ivy League attorney who shouldn't spend what he's supposed to spend and taking the country down the drain. So what's the surprise here?
Al, last word?
This firm is a living lawyer joke. They did a bond issue, Cheryl. How many law firms do you know issue bonds? I mean, what does a law firm really produce besides misery? And people are buying law firm bonds. They took on way too much debt. They paid some of the most arrogant people in the world some of the most overinflated salaries, and none of them brought in the business. You'd think with the recession going on, they could find plenty of people to sue, and they just couldn't even bring in that much. So, I don't know. I don't have any sympathy. I feel sorry for the people that work there. I know people that work there, but, come on. When you see a big pile of debt, run.
Al Lewis, Yu-Dee Chang, Carol Roth. Great to have you all on the Willis Report. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Well, while investors